And I'm going to show you how to change a flat. So the first thing you do after you realize that unfortunately you have a flat in the middle of your ride is you're going to want to take your wheel off, and to do that you want your gear to be in the hardest gear just for the sake of ease getting it off. So I'm going to put it in that, and then sometimes you might want to unhook your brake just to make things a little bit easier. Undo your quick release here. And just pop it off. Just careful with the chain. And then sometimes people flip their bikes upside down. Don't do that because your water might spill out of your water bottle, and then it's just a mess. So lay it carefully on its side with the derailleur up so you don't get yelled at by everyone. And then you go into your saddlebag that you've prepared for just this occasion. Get out your tools here. Tire lever, new tube, and little hand pump or CO2. I like using a pump only because that way if I get multiple flats on a ride, I'm not going to be stuck without a working CO2. Alright, so the first step is getting this pesky tire off. So to do that, there are ways to do it without tire levers, but I find that tire levers work the best. First you want to just take a quick look and see if you can spot what caused the flat. Maybe it's a piece of glass, maybe you just pinch flatted, did something too awesome, and for whatever reason you have a flat. So if you can find the glass, it helps to take it out. It helps to get as much air out as possible. Then you just bring your tire lever in, try to get it under the bead here. So you work one in, stick it there. Now you should have enough room to try to work the other lever in here. So get your other lever in, work it all the way around. You can pull this guy off. Now, let's see. Now we can pull out our tube and see what our situation is here. Now if you're really good, you might be able to fix it with a patch kit, but for the sake of this, we're just going to use a new tube. But before you even think about putting in a new tube, you want to very carefully, especially if you don't have gloves on, just feel around the inside, because even if you got, say, a thorn or a piece of glass out, you might still have something caught in it. And the worst thing in the world is getting your flat fixed, only to have it flat again 30 seconds later. So, okay, we got everything out. Now we're going to take our new tube, add just a little bit of air to it with our handy little pump. Now you don't need to add much air, just enough that you can kind of have a shape to it, so that makes it a little bit easier to put it in properly. Then you just need to figure out where the valve stem goes. Now you're going to just bring it around. Neatly tucked in everywhere. And now for putting the tire back on, you generally want to avoid the tire levers for the most part because it's easier to do it with your hands, making sure you don't catch the tube under the bead. So you really don't want the tube to be right under this part. Otherwise you stand the risk of pinch flatting, which just means that it's caught there, and as soon as you put enough air in it, you're just going to hear that whoosh as it all comes out again. And then you're stranded with another flat. And then you're going to want to take quite a bit of time inflating this. CO2s work a little faster, so if you're in a rush, carry some of those. For the sake of brevity, we're going to say that we've inflated this pretty well. Just make sure, you can't tell what your pressure is going to be, but just make sure that when you push down, you can barely get down. Like, you obviously shouldn't be able to do this. You should barely be able to do that. You want it as pumped up as possible. The last step is putting it back on. Again, make sure you have it going onto the little ring since that's where you started. And it should just drop right back on. And then make sure you tighten up your quick release. And last thing is, if you undid your brakes, make sure you put them back on before you get back on your bike. And you are good to go.